Fuck this whole scene. Everybody dies.
Everybody's gonna die! I'm gonna kill everybody!
Today we're going to be looking at Mission to Mars. Now, Mission to Mars, I remember as a kid being one of those sci-fi movies that was heavily advertised on TV. As a matter of fact, it was so heavily advertised that the time I saw this in the theaters, it was for a kid's birthday party that I went to school with. I remember the day fondly because we went out to go get pizza before the film, and I said a joke while a kid was eating pizza and soda shot out of his nose all over his food. Now, what turned out to be a comical event at the pizza parlor was not the same when it came to actually seeing the movie. This movie, even though it seems that it was made to be a serious sci-fi action thriller film, ended up just being a more of what the hell am I watching and what the f*** are these scientists thinking. Let's start off with how the VHS even starts. It starts out with a commercial making you feel like a dumbass that you own the VHS version of this film. It has a full-length commercial based on buying the DVD for Mission to Mars and all the bonus features and all the special little attributes you get to do if you plug the DVD in the computer.
You can go on your own incredible mission to Mars and beyond with a special edition Mission to Mars DVD, a feature-packed DVD featuring a widescreen presentation of the film, enhanced for 16:9 televisions with 5.1 EX surround sound.
All right, let's crank up the juice.
But this whole commercial basically makes you feel like an idiot because you bought the less superior VHS, the dead technology. Without the DVD, you can't see the trailer for the movie. You can't get quizzed on parts of the movie that you saw. Even though, after seeing this movie, you have no idea why you would want to be questioned on anything that you witnessed during the entire feature film. For a movie titled Mission to Mars, it really should be titled Mission of Fuck-Ups. The characters and crew in this film make the Alien Covenant crew actually look a little more competent. And if you saw my review on Alien Covenant, you know that that's really, really bad. Mission to Mars made me have the entire feeling of I don't know what this movie is about the entire time. Why are they going to Mars? They never explain it. Not to mention, all of the events that happen throughout this film, like a giant dust tornado that has the ability to actually show intelligence and kills the crew. Nobody acts affected by this as they're watching this monstrous tornado run around, suck up rocks, and launched one into the crew member's face. They all have this expression while this tornado is going on. Then the rock gets hurled into someone's face and the guy's just like, oh. But one of the funniest scenes of the entire film is when you get to watch the guy get sucked up into the demonic dust cloud or whatever, and you get to see him basically spin around like Tasmanian Devil until he blows up like a crash dummy. So the first team on Mars, none of them survive except for one guy. So the second crew have to go in for a rescue mission. Now, a little backstory about all these people. They're all supposed to be best friends. The first crew that went to Mars and the second crew for the rescue mission. Supposed to be the best of friends that have gone on many space missions before and have all these accolades and everything like that. when their friends die on the planet, and one of them is still alive in trouble, maybe dead, maybe not dead, everyone has this I don't give a shit attitude about the entire thing. They don't even act sad knowing that their friends are now gone, and one of their friends are stranded on this planet, might be alive or dead. Who cares? Let's slow motion dance in space! And then finally, when they end up meeting the alien life form that is inside this giant metal face that was buried under rock, which is never explained, by the way. The giant dirt tornado they just assumed was the alien's defense mechanism on how to keep people away from this metal face in the ground. Why? Don't ask me. So when the alien is finally revealed and they meet face to face, the alien just somehow reaches into its own body, like as if it was a ghost, pulls out a DNA strand and kind of just... And it shows the entire progression of how the colony on Mars, which was this alien's, I guess, whatever, race, decides to leave once a meteor hits it, and they send some of the molecules to Earth, and that's how Earth is born, basically. These molecules form fish, form dinosaurs, and then form the rest of the Earth. Jazz hand reason of how Earth was created. And again, you would think if you were just given the answer to all human life, you would have a little more of a expression on your face. These guys, once again, are just like, Not to mention, when they meet the alien, they have no expression. The alien just comes walking up, and they're not like,
Buzz, look, an alien! Where?
they're more just like, oh, look at that. Wow. Now I get this movie was rated PG, but it's supposed to have serious storyline going on with science fiction as a whole, but nothing so far shows that these people care or know anything about what's going on here. It's almost as if these were the worst scientists and the worst astronauts ever put together and given a mission, like they were hired by Weyland-Yutani themselves and just sent out there into space and be like, oh, go explore Mars. And it even says this on the back of the box. Mission to Mars is an action-packed rocket ride that will enthrall you with its stunning special effects and keep you on the edge of your seat. Now, let's talk about the special effects for a second. This movie basically was around that time period when CGI and special effects for the early 2000s was looking really good, and everyone was like, ooh, that looks so real. Even though you look at it now and it's like, ooh, that looks like dog shit. This movie highly incorporates why it wants you to see this. Most of the movie is just showing CGI outer space and CGI spaceship and CGI thunder cloud tornado dust thing, and then CGI alien that looks like one of the worst CGI aliens I've ever seen. Just look at this. You would think with a movie that had $100 million budget, they could have made, because it only had one alien, could have made a practical effect alien. Not some sort of Casper-like, really, really crappy looking CGI big-headed alien person. And there's only one scene of this entire movie that even gets a little bit intense, where you're kind of like a little bit wanting to pay attention to what's going on. And that is when the main head astronaut for the rescue mission somehow doesn't judge his trajectory of when he's going to land on this satellite to hook himself up to save his friends or whatever he's trying to do, and bounces off and basically is just going to fall into the planet's atmosphere and die. And then his wife is like, "No, I'm going to save you!" And she shoots the little hook thing towards him. And he's like, "No, I can't let you do it." And it's almost like watching a soap opera at this point. Opens up his helmet, and then you just get to see his whole entire face freeze and look like one of those pre-made sausages that you would buy at the grocery store that are already frozen before you cook them. If you know what I mean. That's what his face ends up looking like.
I can't let you die. I'm sorry.
What are you doing?
Love you, honey.
No! No!
God, I love you.
Wait! Don't! Wait! Wait! Don't! No! No! Please, God, no!
So yeah, you see people die in this. You see a guy get ripped apart in a tornado. Literally limbs flying off, blood's flying off. And then you get to see Sausage Face guy. But this movie does not come off as serious as it's trying to take itself. In reality, it looks like they wrote a half of a script for a good science fiction movie, kind of a good idea, and then they just didn't know where to go with it. But the studio already put the money and effort into the CGI, and they're just like, "Oh fuck, let's write some shit down on a note paper, send it in, and that's going to be the script." That's literally what the movie feels like. It feels like it was written by a middle school team. Now, I remember when I went and saw this in the theaters, the only part I could remember was the tornado part with the guy getting ripped apart. And when I picked this up at the thrift store, I was like, "Oh yeah, Mission to Mars. I haven't seen this since the theaters. I remember this part of the tornado, but I don't remember anything else of the movie. Maybe it's really good. It's one of those hidden gems from the early 2000s that I gotta see again, and it might be so good I'm gonna do a movie review on it." Sadly, I watch it, and it's everything but good. The tornado scene, like I said, was the best part of the entire film, and that happens in the first 15 minutes of the movie. All the rest of it is all this very nonsensical parts of people not acting like they care about anything that's going on, having no facial expressions to anything, including seeing an alien and people dying. And overall, the entire movie could have been cut down to like a half hour if you took out all the unnecessary scenes that were going on in it. But most of it was wanting to show off the CGI special effects. And sadly, the entire movie suffered, including the script writing and story department. If this was one of the movies that I had rented back in the day when you could still rent movies, I would not be happy with it. And I can guarantee you, the parents that took us to see the movie in the theater when we were like in 4th or 5th grade were probably like, "What in the holy shit is this?" It's a PG horror movie, sci-fi movie. It's on such a nonsensical level when you're trying to think and actually watch a story that you walk out going like, "What the fuck?" I watched this entire movie. I just watched the entire movie, set everything up to do this review, and I still can't tell you what the meaning was behind the entire film. There was no meaning. There was no end result. There was nothing. They go to Mars, dudes get killed, rescue team comes, does a bunch of bumfuckery, screws shit up, blows up their own ship, lands on the planet. They discover an alien. And then they fucking leave. That's it. That is Mission to Mars in a compact nutshell. All the rest surrounding that nutshell, the tree, is CGI. CGI. Just wanting to show you everything that's going on with computer animation at that time period. Look, we spent $100 million for this movie. Look at that goddamn CGI. You look at it, you're not going to forget that this movie is CGI. So anyway, guys, for Mission to Mars, cheesy beyond cheesy belief, I recommend, if you've never seen this movie, to watch it. Even though it's very much not good, like I said, the best part's the tornado scene. You're going to agree with me by the time you see it. Tornado scene. Just, if you watch this and you thought that movie was horrible except for the tornado scene, make sure you leave in the comments section, tornado scene. But I recommend you guys go and watch it because it's just a spectacle to behold. I've never seen a movie, I don't think, where there literally was no story or meaning behind the entire movie. I don't think I've ever seen a movie like that, or I just can't recall a movie like that. If I were to give this movie a ranking, it would be bad. I can't even call it average because there's not even a storyline to follow. Like I said, guys, CGI. This movie is about CGI, and it only wants you to focus on how good everything looks. It was hoping the audience would have been brain dead enough to not care that there was no story, to not care that the movie meant nothing. How long is this fucking movie? 113 minutes. It was just hoping that the 113 minutes would go by with me like, oh my god, it looks like we're in space. And it doesn't at all. I'm sorry, but it failed. And I remember seeing this as a kid and not being impressed by the CGI. I saw Alien that was made in 1979. Way more impressive than this film. When it just from an aspect of looking at the surroundings, space, and that's all practical effects. Now you could call me partial. I like practical effects. CGI turns me off a little bit. But hey, Alien, Mission to Mars. I don't know. And let me know what you think about that alien too. If you can call it an alien. I don't even know what to call it. It looked like a failed experiment out of fucking X-Men, to be honest. With a Casper body. Who knows? And then whatever happens to the main guy that they wanted you to care about the whole time, no one knows. Just flies off in outer space. No one knows. No one even knows if the crew that was on the rescue team makes it back to Earth or not. That's just the end. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you're looking forward to more VHS or Die series, let me know in the comments below. Make sure to leave a like, and I'll see you on the next review. Later.